everyone. Welcome to the NintendoFuse Podcast. This is episode 223, entitled 25 Years of Pokemon. We're going to be celebrating all of that tonight, talking about all of the new announcements about from the Pokemon world, talking about the Pokemon Presents and some other things as well. But as far as introductions go, my name's Steve, and I'm also joined, of course, by Barry. Hey, Barry, how's it going?
Hey, Steve. Always a pleasure. Happy to be here.
I saw you. We got to celebrate the Pokemon, so we got the Pokemon shirts and everything. We're good to go.
Yep,
Also,
absolutely.
of course, joined by Greg. Hey, Greg.
Hey everyone, I'm celebrating the death of Mario, so
Nice. We will talk about that as well. And joining us back for a second time on the podcast. Normally, we're talking about what Jakester saying in the chat room, but tonight we actually get his voice to join us. Welcome, Jakester.
Thank you, Steve. I'm glad to be back again.
Absolutely.
And also, I'm here celebrating Mario death since I didn't have a Pokemon shirt.
Nice. So we're gonna half and half here. We got Pokemon and Mario, which is pretty much what we're gonna be talking about tonight. So before we jump into all the news, all the cool stuff about Pokemon and Mario, and all we've been playing, we want to just make sure that we thank you guys for being with us, especially those of you that are joining us live in the chat room during our live recording. If you want to talk about any of the things that we're talking about tonight, we'd love to hear what you'd have to say. So let us know what you've been playing. Let us know what you think about the upcoming Pokemon games, all the announcements, all that stuff that we're going to be talking about. Let us know in the chat room. If you're watching after the fact, be sure to let us know in the comments. That'd be really great too. And let's say you're listening on your favorite podcast app later. You can also join our Discord and you can have conversations with us there. So if you've not joined our Discord, the link is on the screen. It's also in the show notes, the podcast description. All those different things are there, and we would love to have you guys join us as well on social media. We're at NintendoFuse on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Of course, be sure to like this video, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, all those things you know you're supposed to do, and share this with other Nintendo fans that are out there. We would be so grateful. Yeah, let's talk about what we have been playing before we jump into the news tonight. And of course, we're going to let our guest go first. Jakester, what have you been playing lately?
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Genshin Impact and Fate Grand Order. Both of their events have been going on lately. Genshin Impact is getting another one starting tonight. And on the Switch, I actually finished the Project Triangle Strategy demo. Very fun game. Very frustrating in terms of difficulty, but very fun. And I also did go back to Tokyo Sessions FE a little bit.
Nice. Greg, how about you?
this week has been quite the adventure into getting knee deep into Pokemon. So like, I think last time I was just like, oh, I just like handle the gym or two. It's like, well, now I'm at least on my daughter's account, I've been duplicating on my own. Is like we just beat the Dragon Gym, so it's like we got the entire gym collection badge done and ready to go to the semifinals on her account. On mine, I just reached the Dark Gym, so I play a little bit ahead on hers just because I know she really wants to be able to catch the EVs. Because since I found there's like a special den that they appear in, so like had to be able to get the water bike and just ended up needing to get those extra additional levels to catch higher level Pokemon. So been very deep into Pokemon Sword over the last week, and then other than that, it's just been a little bit of here and there in Animal Crossing. Just still trying to get my golden shovel because Gulliver only wants to come up like once every other week. And then I just had a little bit to play around with the Mario items just briefly, just because it's obviously was just yesterday that we could finally purchase them. So it was just like today I got to put them down. So I got to have a little bit of fun there because we don't time travel with that kind of stuff. Kind of stinks. They only get 5 at a time. So it's like, oh, just order 2 warp pipes and then a few of our other favorite items like the star and the fire flower and the mushroom. So it's pretty cool to have some stuff going around there. I did see some really cool videos on stuff you can do. You can make like caves and tunnels and stuff using those blocks that are in the sky. So eager to possibly try something like that out.
Nice.
And still doing Fire Emblem Hero and mobiles, and that's rounds me out.
Cool. Barry, how about you? What have you been playing then?
Yeah, my list is also quite short. Still Animal Crossing. I caught the last deep sea critters that came about yesterday, so I am finally done with the museum, 100%. Don't have to worry
Nice.
about it. And I've messed around a little bit with the Mario items. I got the warp pipes from yesterday, and I placed them around and tried them, and they work well. It's really cool. So now I'm just slowly going to be ordering Mario items, which, as far as I'm aware, are permanent because they're in the same category as the Pocket Camp stuff, which is great. I expected this to also be another one of those Mario things they're removing, but it doesn't seem that they are. So that's awesome because there's a lot of things to order and a lot of things where if you can only order 5 a day, you need a lot of blocks or coins. So they were smart about that, thankfully. So looks like those are staying. I did play a round of Tetris 99. I haven't played that in forever. Got like in the 30, I think 37, but I did it because I was trying to get the Maximums Cup for the new Mario rewards that they added. And of course, that's not even live yet. So I'm like, oh, well, I'm here. I'll play around. And I also messed around with the Capcom Arcane Stadium, which came out from the Direct. So I played a little 1943 and a little Ghosts and Goblins, which were the free games. Ghosts and Goblins is still just as tough, even with that rewind feature, because it allows you to rewind up to a good chunk, I think all the way back to the beginning in every game in that collection, which is really cool. But I'm not going to be purchasing any of the other games. But it was just interesting to mess around with and see playing through those. And the reason why I haven't played as much on the Switch, including Bravely Default 2, which is sitting there and I really want to play, is because I'm still playing Persona 5 Strikers. I'm close to the end of that game finally, and it is so much fun. Absolutely worth playing that game. If you've played Persona 5 and love it, this is the next thing. And it's so different from like the Hyrule Warriors game. Like the Hyrule Warriors is very much a Warriors game with little missions, just with a lot of Zelda flair. This is a Persona game with action combat. That's really what it is. Like you actually play through a linear story, just like the Personas, where you get to explore towns and you get to talk with people and do quests and go into different dungeons. And when you're in the dungeons, it's just like a Persona dungeon, except when you encounter a shadow, instead of going to a turn-based combat, it's now warrior-style action battle, and it's quick. Like a lot of the battles go really quickly, and it's interesting how they implemented all the Persona elements into them. Like it's really well done, and I'm beyond impressed. I hope to see them do more of this kind of thing in the future with the Warriors template. But it's really, really cool, and especially the voice cast all comes back, so that makes it better.
That's really cool.
It's really good, and it's also Joker's first appearance on the Switch, so there the Smash Brothers qualification. But on the PC, I'm still playing Final Fantasy 14, although I didn't do as much due to Strikers just being sucked into that game. But I'm still Dragalia Lost and Mario Kart Tour on the mobile. Mario Kart Tour tournament ending tonight, and it's the competition is always so fierce. It's great as you get to the higher levels. It really makes you, have to go for those perfect runs, and Dragalia Lost is just kicking my ass but in a good way. Like I'm improving, and I like that. And it's still a lot of fun. I have 2+ years later.
Cool. Jared in the chat saying that he needs to get one more deep sea critter as well. And I am not collecting anything at all, except for the Mario
I haven't been
stuff.
touching Animal Crossing either, Steve. I need to get to it this week, though.
I finally booted it up this week because of the Mario stuff. So I turned it on yesterday for the first time in, I think, 2 months. At least that's what the my neighbors told me, that I hadn't talked to them in 2 months. So I don't know if it's maybe I just ignored them the last time I was on. But for some of them, it's been 2 months since I've talked to them. Of course, they're like, I didn't know where you were, or what happened, blah, blah. And then, things go on. Just had to, clean up some weeds, and luckily I didn't have any, cockroaches in my house or anything like that. But I
probably will when I get to it.
But I did go ahead and purchase, like Greg said, 2 pipes and for the Mario stuff, and also picked up, I think, because I was trying to figure out, I was like, I want to collect all that stuff and just purchase it all. But I was like, how do I keep track of, whatever thing? So I got the 2 pipes, and then I basically started from the bottom of the list, and I'm going to move up and just get 5 each day, which, I guess the only thing that makes me like wonder, like most of me wonders why in the world, why did they limit you to 5 things? If you had the money, you should be able to buy it. But I guess it does keep you going back to the game after every day for a while, but that's just dumb. I own the game.
It's the same with sending people. Like if you can only send 2 things to a person every day.
Right. I'm like, maybe they don't want to overwhelm their servers. They want to keep them in pristine condition. Like, this is Nintendo after all.
It's not like they ever overload their server with Smash Brothers.
Right.
Just saying.
I don't even need their servers to be overloaded. My town just lags, so.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, my town lags in parts too.
Nice.
I wonder if you could. Something I was wondering about the pipes was, can you go inside your house and out to your island with one?
Yes,
okay,
you
that's
can.
all I
You
was
can put a
wondering.
pipe in the house and outside. It works. I tested it.
That's cool. That's cool.
The only way it doesn't work. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was
Go
going
ahead.
to jump in to add something to it. I did see a video yesterday that the only thing that you can't do with the pipes is to get access to the 4th layer, because there's like a glitch still around that if you use terraforming with like a flower or something, you can get onto the 4th level and decorate it, but you can't use a pipe to spawn yourself up there.
Yeah, okay.
Nice.
So what happens if you have more than 2 pipes? Is it random?
You
Where
random.
go?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it would be cool if you had like in Mario Maker or something like that, and you can like put colors or something like that, and so I can like go to certain ones with like colors match or something like that. That'd be kind of cool. But
You're
maybe
asking too much of them.
Yeah, I'm asking too much.
Be thankful they're giving us this. The fact that the warp pipes even work is a blessing.
That is really cool. Yeah, there's a few. I think I already have an idea of where I want to put my warp pipe, because it'd just be really cool to like start there, because usually I think probably all of us have this typical circle that we do, or a certain path we do when we log into the game to get everything, and it'd be cool just to like instantly go to a certain spot in there. So that is pretty cool to have. So in addition to starting up Animal Crossing for the first time in a few months, I also went ahead and played Hyrule Warriors on Switch, like I've been talking about for the last few weeks, and I actually finally got back into it, and just realized like how like I kind of forgot how much I enjoy that game. It's really fun, and I kind of forgotten too how they've done the challenges and the other things within the game. It's kind of interesting. I think I didn't talk about this like the first time I played the game, just about how like you play through the main storylines and everything, but then as you collect stuff throughout the way, like you can just basically say, okay, I want to craft these things, or I want to do these things and complete the challenge, and if you have the criteria, you just complete it, and that's it. It's not, you don't actually have to go in and like throw them in a pot and make the food or whatever. It just says, okay, you're done, and you qualify for that, and it unlocks whatever it needs to. And I thought that was an interesting way to do it. I actually like it, because the other stuff, I feel like if I had to go in there, while it might make it more real, if you will, or jumping into the game more, it also just takes time. And I'm like, I got these things, just click, done. And so that was kind of cool. I'd forgotten about that piece of the game.
Are you talking the original or Age of Calamity?
Age of Calamity, sorry. Yeah, Age of Calamity, yeah. It's been a while since I played the original one. I couldn't remember. I didn't think they did that in the original one, or even had those kind of things in the original one.
I don't remember if they did or not, but yeah.
Yeah.
Age of Calamity is so good.
Age of Calamity, yeah. So, so I played that, and then I have announcement to make. I know it's a Nintendo podcast, but I've officially switched from playing Rocket League on Switch to playing Rocket League on Xbox. I can't do it anymore. guys, I just can't do it anymore. It's not reaching the quality of the game that I like really want. And after I moved my Xbox into my gaming room here and everything, it looks so much better. The lag isn't there as much, and it just, yeah, it's a better experience. And I really like having analog triggers when controlling a car. Yeah, and
Talk about a major trader.
I know. But with doing that, I am progressing closer and closer to Diamond rank. I am almost at Platinum 3, and so that's pretty cool. I remember it was like 6 months ago when I finally hit Platinum 1 for the first time. Now I'm getting really close to Platinum 3, and the next jump up would be Diamond, and then hopefully Champion soon after that. So I'm making some progress, and I think attribute some of that to switching over to Xbox. So we'll see.
Congratulations, Steve. You've now reached the rank that most people with multiple consoles do, where Nintendo stuff and exclusives on the Switch and multi-platform on the other platforms, just because they tend to run better and have faster loading times. And
yeah. It's just a better experience, Nintendo. And we know you're listening to this podcast because you want to, you plan your directs right after us. So, take note when that Switch Pro comes out. You might get me back. So we'll see. Also, I did get my Nintendo pin set. I'm pretty excited about that. Pin set number 2, of course, because I didn't get pin set number 1. Refer to old podcast about all my bitterness about that. But there it is, pin set number 2. I know Barry's still waiting on his. It's almost there, right?
Tomorrow should be here.
And then Greg's still waiting on the purchase of Super Mario 3D World.
Yep.
Yeah. And Jakester, you said you're not going to get him? Not going after this time?
I might try now that my sister has a copy of Mario 3D 3D World.
She's not listening, right? She didn't know, like, hey, I'm going to swipe your copy of the game.
No, she's in the living room.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, that just kind of concludes what we've been playing. But let's move into the big event. We're going to be talking a lot about Pokemon tonight because February 26th, so just late last week, we got a Pokemon Presents event. And if you have not checked it out, I do want to encourage you guys to go to NintendoFuse.com. You'll see all the details there. Dave's, of course, created a great article, a quick rundown of all the different announcements and everything. But before we jump into any of the announcements and things that were shown off at the event, I want to talk about, well, in a way, kind of the things that are shown off in the event, because the first thing was this montage of Pokemon games over the years, which was a really, really cool montage, I think. And so as I have it playing on the screen, I thought it'd be cool just to talk about our own memories of Pokemon. We're celebrating 25 years of Pokemon. So maybe when you first got connected to Pokemon yourself, when you remember, back in 96, 97 when it first came out, all those different things. So Barry, let's go to you first. What are some of your Pokemon memories?
Yeah, I remember hearing about Pocket Monsters in Nintendo Power. My friend who would get Nintendo Power was talking about it and how it was a big craze in Japan and it was going to come over here and how it just looked so cool and it was going to be the next big thing. So we were all excited about it. And then I forget what, I think it might have been ninth grade. I woke up in the morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. There was Pokemon on our local stations, and I was like, oh my god, the anime is here in English. So we started watching the anime, and it was like, oh, this is a really cool world. And that launched before Red and Blue, and I just distinctly remember, getting my friend had the Nintendo Power, and it had the little Pokemon guide book in it. If you remember that, it was a little extra book, and it had a little comic in each episode, and it had little tips, beginner tips for Red and Blue, and I remember distinctly reading that, and it's take Bulbasaur for an easier time. So I'm like, all right, I'll take Bulbasaur because the first gym is rock and then water, and you'll have the type advantage. And just remember begging my friend's mom to take us to Toys R Us, and she drove us in, and he got red, I got blue, and the rest, as I say, was history. I just remember falling in love with the game and playing most releases since, and it's been one of those cool experiences. Even now, as an adult, doing like Pokemon Go, which I did for multiple years before the pandemic, and Sword and Shield, and Let's Go before that, and just seeing it transform. And the one thing I wanted, even as a kid from watching the anime, especially this era was the N64 era, so our 3D world was Ocarina of Time, and just thinking of like, wouldn't it be cool to walk around in this like open environment and use Z targeting to like target a Pidgey or target a Rattata, and then throw the Pokeball at that and to initiate the battle, but there's a bunch of them all around you, and like, why don't they do that? And Stadium was just like a tease, but it was definitely one of those things where my wish may have finally gotten granted from 25 years ago. But yeah, it's been one of those. It's a great series, and I'm happy to have been a part of it since the beginning.
That's cool. That's cool. Greg, I know your entry into Pokemon has been a lot more recent. What's it been like for you so far?
Well, I first met the Pokemon in 1999 in a little small indie game called Smash Brothers 64, and that's where I actually mained Pikachu, and I was really darn good with him. So that was, as most things go with Smash Brothers, it's always the gateway game into every other type of genre. So I didn't really know too much about the Game Boy games, never really followed the series, and didn't really know too much about it. And it kind of seemed like it was more for kids, so then I never dove into any mainline entry. And then now having a daughter, the first mainline entry I've gotten is Sword, and then having heard at the beginning of the podcast, we're very deep into it. That just began. So my main journey had just began earlier this year, despite Sword of being out, I think, 2 years or so now. So it's been a lot more fun than I ever imagined. It's something that I'm able to share with my daughter. She's got Pokemon books now. She wants Glaceon's plushie. Now it's just like all sorts of stuff that we're getting infused like Pokemon into this household. So we just picked up Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee from the library, so play it together. So we're definitely getting our main exposure to Pokemon, and I have Smash Brothers to thank for getting me to know a number of them before even having played any of the games.
Nice. And soon you and your daughter can watch Detective Pikachu together, and maybe all the anime and everything. Cool. Jakester, I know you're a huge fan of Pokemon. What's your history been like? What's some of your memories over the years been like?
So I got into Pokemon around 2006 through my uncle and my neighbor RJ when I was really young. My uncle used to talk about how much he loved Pokemon Yellow when he played it. My friend RJ was really into Pokemon Ruby. And around the time that I actually got a Game Boy Advanced, I got Pokemon Emerald and Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team. And I thought that Emerald was a very, very fun game. And later on in my life, I got Pokemon Heart Gold, which I thought was probably the best Pokemon game I ever played. And then this was around when I started growing into the RPG franchise. And in 2011, this was definitely the year that I accepted that I was both a Pokemon fan. I was definitely an RPG fan because of Pokemon Black and White. Because that was the first time, I may have tweeted about this and Barry noticed it, that this was the first time I ever put 100 hours into an RPG and enjoyed the ever heck out of it.
Wow.
And ever since then, when Pokemon Black and White came out and the Pokemon Black 2 and White team came out, I got these things, the official strategy guidebooks.
Nice.
And these, and probably the posters back here, are probably the best things I have in a collection so far. And so I really love Pokemon. Not to say that I enjoyed Pokemon Shield. I really didn't. But I won't talk about it. because I'm supposed to be talking about good things. But I really enjoyed Pokemon, just in general.
Cool. Yeah, I have similar stories to Barry when remembering, when they initially started talking about Pokemon and kind of bringing it to the United States and everything, and hearing about this whole thing. And they sent out some sort of, like, was it a VHS or something like that? They kind of advertised it.
Yeah, there was a VHS through Toys R Us and possibly Nintendo Power as well, but the anime and the game and stuff like that. Yeah, I have that still.
I am pretty sure I have it too. It may be at my parents' house, but I remember, getting it in the. There was a couple different VHSs they sent out that I remember. I remember Donkey Kong Country. They advertised that one. And I think there was another one that I remember getting.
Banjo-Kazooie and was there.
Yeah, I probably got mine through Nintendo Power, most likely. But yeah, I was really excited about that. But it's kind of confused. I think in the beginning, we're like, what in the world is this all about? Because it was unlike something I had played before. But yeah, I remember getting Blue and getting sucked into it right away, and basically playing the single player game. Eventually traded some with some friends. I remember getting Pokemon Yellow was probably the first game that I ever pre-ordered, because I loved Blue so much. I was like, this is cool. I want Yellow because it's Pikachu and that's awesome, and he's like, the mascot and all that stuff. And then I remember thinking, I probably shouldn't have spent my money on this, and actually gave my pre-order away, or sold it to a friend who really wanted it as well. So I don't own Yellow, didn't own it, because I think when I realized it was basically the same game, I was like, I don't really need this. So but it was officially the first game that I ever pre-ordered, I think. Yes, over the years, I never really got into the anime, never really got into the card game at all. I'm not really big into any of the card games like that sort of thing. Cool for those people that do, but it's just not really my thing. I'd rather play the video game side of it, mostly because, like, card games for me, I'm like, I got to do too much math. It's not fun. So like, how many hit points is this, and what's that mean for this and everything? I'd rather just let the video game take care of all that for me. And so played that, and then I never, like, I didn't stick with, like, every game in the whole series. Like, I'd kind of take this roller coaster kind of approach and say, like, sometimes I was really into it. Whenever I got a game, I played it all the time. And then I'd skip a couple games, and then I'd get a new one, and I'd play it all the time, and then I'd skip a couple of games. And that's kind of the routine that I was in, probably up until the last few. And I've gotten the last few because of review copies or just really wanting to get them and everything. But I haven't really sank a whole lot of time, as you guys know. I've said many times on this podcast, I'm still just having fun in the wild area in Pokemon Sword. I'm not progressed very far in the game at all, because it's just fun to hang out there, and just have a lot of fun in there. So that's kind of where I am now, but kind of excited about where this new direction possibly that they're going, at least with one game, and that we'll talk about in just a second. Let's look at the chat real quick before we get a chance to move on.
Actually, Steve, my first game I pre-ordered was actually Pokemon Black 2.
No way. That's awesome.
It was. I went to GameStop with my mom. She was like, maybe you should pre-order Black 2. I'm like, sure, let's do it. And that was the first game I ever pre-ordered.
That's awesome.
In general and at a GameStop.
Cool. I think I pre-ordered Yellow at Kmart. May it rest in peace.
I miss Kmart, honestly.
But so Jared says that one of his favorite moments was getting his first Holo Charizard. So he was really into the card game, it looks like. He also remembers getting ticked at Hey You Pikachu because his mic didn't work, which is fun. I never played Hey You Pikachu. Did you guys play it at all?
I never played any N64 game.
Yeah. It kind of seems so silly for me, and especially when they had the special edition Pikachu N64 with like that whole thing. Like it was just like, this is just cheesy.
I remember seeing that at a convention once, and I looked at a friend of mine that I was with. I'm like, this was a thing, and she was like, "Yep, this was made back then." I'm like, there's no
multiple
way
colors
this was
in Japan
sold.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw an orange one.
That's the Japanese one. Blue was American.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw the orange one at the convention I went to.
Nice. Well, let's get into the details of what they showed off after they celebrated 25 years of Pokemon, which is a really cool video. I urge you guys go back and watch it. It was a cool just like montage of what they've done over the years. But then we got into some announcements, and the first one was Pokemon Snap, new Pokemon Snap, because Nintendo likes to call things new. We've kind of known about this game for a while now, but kind of showed off a little new footage a little bit, and then showed off that we can now not only take photos but also decorate those photos and then share those photos online. So kind of a social media kind of thing built into new Pokemon Snap, being able to post your best photos and see what kind of reactions and likes and all that stuff that you get from others that are playing the game. I'm assuming that you could probably also share those on real social media as well, because you have the Facebook and Twitter built into the Nintendo Switch, so you should be able to share them that way. And then of course take them to your computer, your phone, all those janky ways of doing that, and and share them on normal social media as well. But yeah, what do you guys think about new Pokemon Snap? Are you looking forward to getting it, especially with this new information? What do you guys think? Let's go to you first, Jakester.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this game because A, it's just beautiful, and B, I never played the first Pokemon Snap, and I was already convinced to get this even before this presentation.
Nice. That's cool. Greg, are you being pulled in more? You into the Pokemon world? You gonna get new Pokemon Snap?
I'm sure this will probably be another one that we just get from the library, because it seems like every game my daughter sees, it's like we have to get it. So we don't have the kind of budget to buy every single game that we want. So
nice. You need to take your daughter over to Barry's house and just say, hey, go crazy.
Take me with.
And maybe we can retrieve that Mega Man.
Take me with to try.
There you go.
Take me with to try Trails of Cold Steel 3.
Nice. Barry, you looking forward to new Pokemon Snap?
Yeah, I did enjoy the first one. I didn't own it for a while. I just played it at a friend's house because it was short. I think there was like 60 Pokemon out of the original 151, and it was the first Pokemon game I think that had Mew by default in it. It was like a special thing, like, oh look, Mew's here, as opposed to all the rumors back in the day of how to get Mew and before he was finally put in the game. But it was just a lot of fun just going through it. But again, it was a shorter experience. So I was in high school, I didn't have the money, so I was playing at his house, and we got all the Pokemon pictures. So that was the last time I played it. Was it like 97, 98 or whatever it came out? And so I'm looking forward to this, giving this a try. I just hope that the first-person movement doesn't make me too nauseous, as a lot of that does now. So yeah. I'll see, but it's definitely something that interests me.
Yeah, it is on rails, right? So
yes.
Yeah, so it's
the
not
device
like
is on
full
rails
movement. So yeah, does that usually help you when things are on rails, or does it actually make it worse?
It depends on how frustrated I get. Like, oh wait, I need that picture. Hold on, no, stop, no, oh, you know.
Full on live VR.
Yeah. Jared says that he's 100% getting Pokemon Snap. He's been wanting it for a really long time. Yeah, this is probably a game that I will not be getting. I'll enjoy it, other people's photos and things like that they post, but something like this is really not up my alley whatsoever. And of course, cool for people that enjoy it, but I didn't really get the point for how I play video games and the things that I like about video games. Didn't really get the last one. This one, it does appeal a little bit more when you're like, okay, like when you're comparing to other people and kind of like the competition between friends. Okay, that gets me going a little bit because I'm an incredibly competitive person. So that side of me does start tweaking a little bit, but overall I'm like, I don't know if I would enjoy just riding around on rails and taking fake photos of Pokemon.
Well,
So.
Well, it's for the completionist type thing. Now, I don't know how many are in this, but it clearly showed that there's 4 different starred pictures, and it will keep your 4. So the idea is to get not only catch a picture of every Pokemon, but get the 1, 2, 3, and 4 star for every Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times it's more the puzzle aspect of how do I get that 4-star photo? Like,
That's
what do
true.
I have to do? What do I have to throw? What do I have to interact with to get that 4-star photo? And I had to get a good picture of whatever event it was. Like when I showed like the Score Bunny, doing the flame kicks, you had to get a picture of him mid flame kick. If you did it too early or too late, you probably wouldn't have gotten as many points, and it wouldn't have counted.
That's a good point. But yeah, not my thing. But to each his own. There's other games that I like that other people like. Why do you play that? So, but I do like the new things that they put in the game. I think that's really cool, and I think that's going to make it really good for other people. Yeah. Anything else about Pokemon Snap before we move on to the next big announcement?
Did anyone pay attention to that the glow in the dark berry they had when you were mentioning the Score Bunny?
What about it?
When they had the invert colors, where the Score Bunny's flames were blue instead of red.
Yeah, that's from the Glowberry. What about it?
I don't know. I thought that was a very interesting touch that they're gonna do.
Well, they did that in the original. In the original, they had different types of objects that you threw at the Pokemon. It wasn't just pictures. And sometimes, like, you needed to get certain evolutions didn't appear in the wild. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, like there was a Slowpoke, and you threw like berries, and you had to like lure him to a shell, and he put it on his tail, and he became Slowpoke or Slowking or whatever it was. Slowbro.
Slowbro.
And it was like you had to do that in order to get Slowbro. You couldn't get Slowbro outside of that instance. So there was a lot of puzzle elements in the first game too, with these different berries, and you had to like throw things and hit trees and knock things down. Pester balls, Jared says in the chat. That was it. Yeah, that was another thing. There was all these different elements to that. Mm-hmm. So these glow balls just seems like the next evolution. Because you are on rails, you're only taking pictures. This way you can interact. And you were able to cause, I think it was like Scyther and Pinsir were able to like fight or something like that. Or if you threw a ball like in a field, it was just like grass, and you threw a pester ball and they came out and they started fighting, and you got pictures of them. It was like really cool because like nowadays with the internet, you'll probably be able to see, here's how to get them all instantly. But real internet days, while we had the internet, it was very much in its infancy. It was a real discovery. While it was a short game, that was the appeal. It was like, how am I going to figure this out? I need to discover this. Maybe my friends know. It was a whole different era.
Yeah.
The days before Google.
That's right.
Oh,
you had to
yeah.
wait for Nintendo Power to cover it.
Technically, you could always figure that out on your own if you really wanted to. You just avoid looking at
the puzzle element. Certainly seems like
true.
Something I'll get into with this game.
That's cool. Jared also mentioned that you can get pics printed, which is kind of cool. Yeah, if you transfer them to your phone, computer, or whatever, you could easily just send them to the store or print them at home, and actually have photos of the Pokemon that you took in the game, which is kind of cool. Let's move on because we have a couple games that are going to be kind of showing their face again. People that are kind of into the whole Pokemon world, we know that with every brand new game, a lot of times we get an old game that they kind of bring back. And so we are going back to the Sinnoh region because we are going to be getting soon Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, are what they're calling them. So it's the original games of Pokemon Pearl and Diamond. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl is what they're calling them this time around. And kind of going back into that world. So really just updated graphics like they usually do, kind of bringing it into the modern kind of look, but very, very reminiscent of what the original game was. You guys excited about checking out Brilliant Diamond and or Shining Pearl? Greg, you didn't get a chance to play this back in the day. Are you gonna go after the remake, the new version of it?
Yeah, quite possibly. It just depends on what kind of Pokemon we get obsessed with throughout our Sword and Adventure and Let's Go adventure. So if there's a bunch of them that she'll want to get, then let's use Pokemon Home and transfer them on over. So yeah,
cool.
Not quite sure at this point. It'd be nice to see some of the older games, but I don't know. But still probably need to know more about it and everything like that, and see some more and see if we'll want to get into it.
Nice. So we're going to get it late 2021. Barry, I know, of course, you're getting it for your collection, of course, but are you excited about Pearl and Diamond come back?
I'm really happy for those that have been waiting for this. It's been a while since Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, and we got, a yellow remake after that. So I was like, wait, what about Diamond Pearl? I think it looks good. It's one of those where I've seen some people say it looks like crap, it looks like a 3DS game, and other people say it looks awesome. It's supposed to be faithful to the game, so I'm perfectly fine with that. Ironically, Diamond and Pearl was the game that I really took a break on the series on. I never finished it and then come back until Black 2, White 2, and really into XY. So I might give it a shot. It really depends on what comes out in November. Like, if there's a lot of other bigger games, it will sit in the back burner, and I'll get to it when there's a lull. If there's a lull, who knows? It's on my plate as a possibility as of now, but it really depends on what else is out.
Yeah. Jakester, you excited about jumping back into the Sinnoh region in Pearl and Diamond remakes?
I am loving the look of it.
Yeah.
Because I certainly enjoyed Link's Awakening, and I enjoyed the art style for that. I actually didn't play Diamond and Pearl. I did play Platinum. I think there's a good chance I get this, but I'm probably gonna wait until after I see a lot of gameplay after it comes out to decide if I want this, considering how I felt about Pokemon Shield.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be kind of cautious on it.
Okay.
But I'm definitely looking forward to this one.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I think it's cool. The only one that I ever jumped into in the style is Soul Silver. I didn't play the original Silver, and so I did jump into Soul Silver, played it a ton. In fact, that might be, of all the Pokemon games, that Soul Silver might be the one that I played the most. And just had a blast with it. It also came with the Poco Walker thing, and so that was kind of cool. And I remember going to, I'm pretty sure the first PAX East, or maybe first 2 PAX East, I was able to take that there and interact with other people and everything, and it was really cool. Kind of having more of the social components around that game. Probably won't be getting Pokemon Brilliant Diamond or Shining Pearl, I like how it looks as well. I think it's kind of cool how it looks like the original game, but it has been kind of modernized. I like how they didn't just give it the exact same look as Sword and Shield, but they kind of did this little bit of in between sort of thing, and I think it looks really cool too.
I feel like the Poco Walker is kind of weird to look back on in retrospect, considering it's a handheld system for the handheld system.
It's true. It is.
Just saying.
Yeah.
It was a good idea, but it wasn't a good idea in retrospect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then we got an announcement that we've kind of alluded to a little bit already. That's not the only game that we're getting. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl do take us back to the Sinnoh region, but yeah, we're going back to the Sinnoh region again next year, because we are getting a little game that they are calling Pokemon Legends. Arceus, am I pronouncing that correctly? Arceus? Arceus is the kind of the Pokemon that's centered around. It is a prequel, if you will, to Diamond and Pearl, kind of showing the first Pokemon, getting the first Pokédex in the Sinnoh region. And yeah, it takes a little bit different of an approach to the game, as Barry mentioned earlier, kind of this open world kind of aspect. It looks like it's instead of just the traditional JRPG kind of style, it kind of has a little more of an action approach. They called it an action RPG, but since we've looked at it, it kind of, I don't know if it's going to quite fall into that category, and we can talk about that in just a second. But it is a lot different than we've faced in the past. As you guys can see on the screen if you're watching along, just kind of walking along, seeing Pokemon in the field, and then throwing a Pokeball out there. This is a new, a land that you can just kind of go out there and collect for the first round of Pokemon out there and complete the first Pokedex for this area, this region. So yeah, what do you guys think about this? I'm excited about seeing Pokemon through a new lens, playing it in a new way, but in a prequel kind of style, which is kind of cool. It takes it new, but it's also taking it old. Yeah, Jakester, let's go to you first, because you're really big into this, but this is taking in a different direction. What do you think?
I'm definitely excited about it for the story. I'm really feeling different about the gameplay, especially how they defined it, an action RPG, when in the presentation they showed a lot of turn-based elements. And I also feel very weird about it being a prequel to Diamond and Pearl when they have Rowlet and Oshawott in it. I love Oshawott. It's different, but it feels very strange.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, that makes sense.
But otherwise, I'm pretty interested in it. But it is very Pokemon Sword and Shield like, and I think it might work.
Okay.
In how I view it, I think I might like it though. Okay. But it is another year away, so I'll have to see more.
That's true. Yeah, we have a lot still to see. Greg, what do you think about this? It's like this is new and fresh, and all of a sudden, they're changing it on you. So, what do you think about Pokemon Legends?
I mean, if it is more open world, I'd be down for it. I mean, I absolutely love Breath of the Wild, and I've played some other open world games. I still have to play Phoenix Rising, but I think this would be pretty interesting. I mean, I know I've heard a lot of flack about Sword and Shield not being up to the standards of other older games. So obviously with Sword being my first experience, it's kind of hard to say this is really bad or anything, because kind of enjoying going through it. But it'd be kind of cool just to kind of see how it switches up. It'd be like playing the older, just Skyward Sword as your first game, and then all of a sudden playing Breath of the Wild. So it's like just taking everything you know and just throwing it out the window. So
yeah, it's true. Barry, what are you thinking about this one? Is it scratching that itch that you had from the very beginning?
Absolutely. It has the potential to scratch that itch, I'll say. Still need to see more. It definitely does feel like that action RPG. I know it definitely showed the turn-based style of the standard Pokemon battles, but it is using an ATB system from Final Fantasy, which I've always liked the ATB, and it does. The whole purpose of that was to make it feel more like an action game, and so it's kind of taken the best of both worlds, which I really like. So I'm interested to see how it's all implemented, and if you can move around and run around at the same time, you don't have to stay static, and so you can actually dodge. Because if you've ever watched the anime, especially as a kid, you watch even the early episodes, and it's like one of the Pokemon does a move, and Ash is like, Pikachu, Quick Attack now, and uses Quick Attack to dodge it and attack. I'm like, wait, that was a counter. What? But if you play the game, Quick Attack doesn't do that. quick attack just goes first and does damage, and then you're going to get pelted by whatever. So like you can see, like in the anime, they were like, oh, look how action oriented it could be, and that never translated into the games, which was unfortunate, especially at that time. So I was like, oh my god. So I really hope they do elements like that and give a secondary function to some of these moves. But I'm really excited. I'm glad it's a prequel. And I only say that because this isn't Gen 9. We still don't know when Gen 9 is. Gen 9 is probably going to be a 2023 game at this point. But this gives them time to play around with it and take what works from this game, what worked with Sword and Shield, and make Gen 9 something truly special.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. And for people like us that have been in this like pretty much from the very beginning, like it's really cool to see, number one, like what you were saying, like some of those things that I think a lot of us wanted, because we do look at the anime and stuff like that, and it's like I kind of want to play a game that's similar to that, and have battles that are closer to that sort of thing. And of course, I think at the time, there were limitations, but those limitations maybe aren't there anymore, and so maybe we can experience that kind of style of thing, but also to take it in a different direction after 25 years, to experience something new, to draw me back in. Which is really cool. And so while I'm probably not going to pick up Brilliant Diamond or Shining Pearl, I'm most likely going to be picking up Legends, and I'm really excited to see where that does take them. And like what you said, like what does this mean for the next gen Pokemon? What are they going to learn from this and implement that, but even better in the next one? So yeah, I'm pretty excited not only for this one, but where we're going in the future, for sure.
Oh, something important we forgot to mention was that Pokemon Legends Arceus is developed by Game Freak. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl is not.
That's true, isn't it? Is it a combination though? Is that, or am I remembering
kind
the wrong
of
one?
It's not. It's not being fully developed by Game Freak. It's being developed by the head, being
That's
helped
right.
by the head of it, but it's being made by the developers of the people who made Pokemon Home.
Right. That is a good point. Hey, what do you guys think about that? Is that a good move? What do you think?
I might see it as a good change. It just depends on how the outcome is. I think the thing that I really want to see from these games is I really want to see these in a treehouse style presentation, because I think that's the only way I can really judge that I really want to make a purchase of these.
Yeah, it is one of those games that like I need to see more of it. Yeah, and kind of that experience, like watch through other people experiencing it too. That's a good point. Yeah, what do you guys think about how they're publishing those two games?
I think it's smart. Whenever somebody hears about a port or a remake, the first complaint usually is, oh, I want new games. And if those ports or those remakes are being done by the main team, naturally that takes time away from the main team from developing something new. But when it's outsourced to a secondary team or a side team to work on it, it doesn't take away. So like I do not think these are taking away from Gen 9. And it's the same way like Nintendo did with Grezzo, with the Zelda remakes and stuff. And even the Mario 3D World port that just happened, with Bowser's Fury. I don't think that was necessarily done by the main Mario team. I think, it's probably handled by, some smaller members, while the main team is working on something we don't know yet. And I think that's smart. It helps, get more games out there without delaying or taking away from the truly new stuff.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah, you practically took the words out of my mouth, Barry. I was going to exactly use Grezzo, and I'm kind of fine. I mean, they have the source material. They're keeping true to the original and as much as they can, and obviously take out glitches that they don't think deemed should be still in there and stuff like that. So it's fine that other developers are getting a chance to handle the series.
Yeah, and I feel like by being like the primary guy, there was the head of the project being involved in it, kind of is one of those things like it's still going to be true to the original enough because he's still involved in it. So I agree with you guys on that.
I really feel like that with the trailer for Diamond and Pearl, I feel like you could see with the art style, you could see that it isn't being done by Game Freak, which might be a good thing. That you could see what a different what a Pokemon game from a different developer could be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that isn't a fan game either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just in general, before we move on to talk about a couple of their smaller stories, what do you guys think? I know they kind of talked about Pokemon Go and some other things as well throughout the presentation. A very small kind of hit on them and things like that. But kind of just overall thoughts about the presentation. Any other things that maybe smaller things that we missed? We hadn't had a chance to talk about. Greg, anything come to your mind? Any final thoughts about it?
No, I think I pretty much covered everything. I mean, it was more of the first Pokemon Direct that I actually was able to follow a bit better, having been more exposed to it. So the flow was really nice, and I liked how they paid homage to all the different things that Pokemon have been in, especially that intro video was very awesome to see.
Cool. Barry, how about you?
No, I'm happy that Nintendo, or at least the Pokemon Company, is celebrating. I think a lot of people after the Direct were like, oh, how come you didn't talk about this? It's because it's getting its own thing. And I hope this quells all the people. Like, where's Zelda 25 or 35? It's going to get its own thing, too. Just be patient.
Yeah. Jake,
yeah, that was something I was like, I'm like, if Pokemon isn't shown in this Direct, it's going to have its own presentation. Yeah. One thing that they did mention was that currently there is a max raid battle going on for a Gigantamax Pikachu. But otherwise, the presentation I actually really enjoyed. You could definitely tell the heart and soul they put into showing that they care so much about what 25 years went into for this franchise, about the biggest media in the world.
Yeah.
And I think that they really showed like how much I felt about this franchise and how much I love it.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I think I forgot. It wasn't until I watched that opening montage, or it was like, I don't know, 7-8 minutes long, something like that. But like, there's so
More than
much
5 minutes at least
that's happened in these 25 years. Like, Pokemon over 25 years is like, there's so much packed in to. It's not just the the mainline games. It's the side games. It's the spin-offs. It's the anime. It's the cards. It's the everything in between. It's all the the toys, and there's a huge world. And I think 25 years ago when I got that VHS like my mind was opened up to the world of Pocket Monsters, I had no clue that it was going to be this big. But in a way, what I remember was was hearing them pitch this as they kind of had this vision. They knew this is what they wanted to take it to become, and even bigger than this. Like, that's what I heard as a young kid, like, hearing about Pokemon for the first time, as what, like, they think this is a really cool thing, and they want to do some amazing things with this. I don't quite get it yet, but I think they believe in this, and it's been really cool to see all that transpire over the last 25 years.
Well, it's not just big, it's the #1 media franchise now. Like,
yeah,
it is overall, it's #1.
Yeah, that's incredible.
I think the thing that really impressed me with this presentation was that they proved that they really care about the franchise more than the fact that it's just a moneymaker.
Yeah. Except for not giving any love to Pokemon Sleep, as you said in the chat. So.
Yeah. 0 out of 10.
You can use Pokemon Brush, though, or whatever it's called. Yeah. Smile. Yeah.
Smile.
Nice. Well, let's move on to, from some good news to some unfortunate news. We are in the month of March. which not only means that here in the United States, we've pretty much been in this pandemic and quarantine for basically a year now, but also that some other things are going to be coming to an end probably before COVID-19, most likely before COVID-19 comes to an end. There's going to be a little bit of a few games that are going to be coming to a close. We got the whole list, of course, on NintendoFuse.com, so you can check out that full list. But Super Mario 3D All-Stars, Super Mario Brothers 35, Game & Watch Super Mario, so the Game & Watch device or game or whatever that we've shown off before, is also going to be going away. Super Mario Maker for Wii U, they're closing down the servers and all those things as well. And not a Mario game, but also Fire Emblem Dragon and the Blade of Light is also going away. So quite a bit of games, and one kind of system that's going away at the end of this month. So if you've not gotten any of those games, March 31st is your deadline. Make sure you get them by March 31st. However, some of them, like Super Mario 35, it doesn't matter if you have it, because they're also probably going to close down the servers and you're not going to be able to play it after that time. So if you haven't played it and you want to, make sure you jump on it before then, because you're running out of time, March 31st. So not a whole lot of news. We knew about this ahead of time, but I thought it'd be just, number one, good for us to talk about real quick to alert people once again that your time's running out, but also just kind of go around the circle and hear what you guys' thoughts once again about, Nintendo just came out with this, like we thought maybe they're going to change their minds, but here it is, March 2nd, and they've not changed their minds. They've just doubled down on it. So, I know Barry's got some strong feelings. He's already, the fumes, just the fire is starting to burn through him already. So we're gonna let him sit in that for a little bit, and then we're gonna go to Jakester first. So yeah, Jakester, what do you think about this?
So I definitely feel like the strangest one that they're getting rid of was Mario 35. I'm not sure why they're getting rid of that one first or at all.
Mm-hmm.
But the 3D All-Stars, I feel like the thing we have to remember is that this was them showing that they would devalue their IP for a bit. Since that's all Nintendo will do is value their IPs to a T. Fire Emblem, I don't get, unless they actually choose to put this on the online service. And the Game & Watch, I know, which is going to be a limited thing. Because it's a Game & Watch.
Right. Yeah.
But I feel like it sucks that they're going to do this. But when you look back on it at Nintendo's history, it's not new anymore.
Yeah. Greg, what do you think about this?
I'm pretty much against most of this stuff going away. I mean, I don't see the point of taking 3D All-Stars off the shelves and off of the eShop. I mean, I don't know why you can't just let that remain there. It's like no harm, no foul. People can still experience those excellent Mario games whenever they want to, and still be able to purchase it at any point. The Game & Watch is probably the only thing that does make sense for them to go away. I mean, it's like the NES Classic or the SNES Classic. Those only had like limited runs of production, so it's understandable that that's going away. Super Mario 35 was an awesome game, and I kind of wish that they would kind of change their mind on that one. I think Jump Rope Challenge, it was only like a week or so before it was supposed to be pulled, before they're like, you know what, we'll just actually leave that up there. So I have my fingers crossed that hopefully it'll be somewhat similar to that, where they could actually leave it up and be a fun game to continue to play forward. The Super Mario Maker for Wii U, I mean, that's, I guess, kind of a long time coming, but I guess it's still pretty much stinks for people that really enjoyed playing it, because it's pretty much killing the game, because you can't upload any courses, and it kind of pretty much defeats the purpose of creating a course. I mean, I know you can still do all that locally, but that's, I don't know, that's not the same as having other people play it.
Basically turns it into a 3DS game.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And even the bookmark site's going away, which that was a fantastic tool, and I'm really surprised they don't have that on the Switch version.
Mm.
And in terms of Fire Emblem, that's completely pointless. I mean, I know Fire Emblem had their anniversary, but to spend time and effort to localize it, and then you're just going to have it for a little, like 3 months on set, like to be purchasable, and then take it away, that seems kind of dumb as well. So I don't really agree with these short timelines of these games, and I know we're just going to be seeing more of it for the Zelda anniversary as well.
Yeah.
It just really sucks.
That's a good point. I wonder, what Zelda games are they going to bring out and take them away after 6 months as well. I agree with you guys. I think, like you said, the only one that makes sense is Game & Watch, just because it's a hardware thing. That kind of a thing makes a lot of sense. Barry, I know you got some thoughts. Go for it.
Poop.
And we're moving on now.
That's honestly what I think about this. Like you said, there's a few things that do make sense. The Game & Watch, there's nothing that's produced in this world that continues to be produced. There's always new lines of cars or new lines of appliances. Everything has a production run. The Game & Watch, having a production run that ends by the end of March seemed perfectly fine. I see them on store shelves. Like the people that wanted it got it. So that, to me, that makes sense. It was never going to keep going forever. What I'm not a fan of is, from what I hear, retailers are supposed to like pull all Game & Watches and Mario 3D All-Stars from their shelves, so they can't even sell them after, even if they already have them in store. That, to me, is just stupid. Let the retailers at least sell out their stock.
Bury them in the desert next to E.T.
Yes. Mario Maker Wii U servers shutting down completely makes sense. I know for those that are dedicated to playing the game, it sucks. The game's been out for quite a long time now. And I think that's one of those dangers, that people get too complacent with the internet and forget that servers do cost money. And if a company is seeing a return on that investment, then they can leave it open. But when they're losing money, they're going to close it. And Nintendo is a business. So if it's costing them more money to keep those Wii U servers up than they're seeing back, they're going to cut that boat anchor. And the least they told you a time in advance so you could still play, because they could have just cut it.
That's true.
So that, to me, makes sense. And that's everything. And that's the danger of getting an online only game. That's the danger of having a store service or a stream service or anything like that, because that can absolutely and will absolutely eventually end. Plain and simple. They will, unless it's super profitable. If a game is super profitable, then they'll keep it, but it's not.
Yeah.
Mario 35, I think it's the same boat. I hate that it's going away. I haven't played it in a while. But again, it all depends on the servers. I can see that one sticking around. Tetris 99 did. But Tetris 99 also got a single-player add-on. Mario 35, what's going to be the single-player add-on? Super Mario Brothers 1? I mean, like, we already have that. So I don't know with that one. But 3D All-Stars, definitely, and Fire Emblem, I see no reason to pull them, at least from the eShop. The only thing I could think of is that we've talked about it before, selling them separately, and maybe I can see Fire Emblem being moved to the NES Online app, where it's there, and now you can't own it, but you can play it whenever you want, as long as you're a Nintendo Switch Online, since it is an NES game. It wouldn't be the first time they've added just one game, but they did that with Mario All-Stars. So that's my prediction. I could be completely wrong. They could just be like, boom, gone. But it stings that much more because that beautiful physical collector's edition they put out didn't contain a physical copy of the game, which still to this day is so backwards and so terrible. And the last company that did that was Sega with the Sonic Mania. And people hated that, and look what happened. We eventually not only got a physical, but we got a physical with the DLC as well. So who knows? Maybe Nintendo will do something, but this is Nintendo, so they probably won't.
Who knows? Yeah.
I really don't think they'll backpedal on this, at least with 3D All Stars. I think they could backpedal on 35, but certainly not with Fire Emblem. I think they'll backpedal on that, but they certainly won't backpedal with 3D All Stars.
Yeah, I hope they have other plans, like you guys talked about, but also, like you said, like it's Nintendo, so they may just pull it just because, and have no really other reasons. And
like if they announce like a Fire Emblem collection or something, and it's a physical collection and that game's on there, then I'd be like, all right, fine, you didn't release it separately. But I guarantee you that Fire Emblem Collector's Edition, that's sold out. Like it was hotcakes, and it's just the DLC code. Like it's being scalped and all that. If they charge $20 more, and it had a physical game in there, they would have sold out. They would have been making money. Yep. I mean, they literally were leaving money on the table.
Yeah. Well, let's move on. We want to spend some time on this because I think it's kind of cool to acknowledge a couple birthdays that we have for Nintendo this month. But we don't have to spend a ton of time on it. But on March 3rd, so tomorrow, the Nintendo Switch turns 4 years old, which is crazy. I think it's only been 4 years, but in some ways it's like that makes sense. It's a 4-year-old system as of March 3rd, and then also if you're in Japan, you've already celebrated this birthday, but for those of us that are in the US, March 27th marks the 10th anniversary of the Nintendo 3DS. So March is 4 years old for the Switch and 10 years old for the 3DS. Just gonna maybe just a quick kind of around the horn, just kind of what are your thoughts around these birthdays, anniversary kind of celebrations around this? Maybe some thoughts and memories around that. Barry, we'll go to you first.
I can't believe it's been that much time already. The 3DS came out at an interesting time in my life. I just moved back north with my girlfriend at the time, who is now my wife, and I remember getting it. I remember just doing Street Pass, especially because we each had one, because I got one for her birthday, and just being able to take advantage of Street Pass, and just we wanted to go everywhere. Like, well, let's go out to the mall, let's go see who we could find, and getting the puzzle pieces was like, oh my god, someone has a new puzzle piece. Oh yeah, it was like a huge deal, and it was just so much fun, and playing Find Me was a lot of fun, and Face Raiders, and while a lot of people didn't like the launch lineup, I had a lot of fun playing Pilot Wings and Monkey Ball, and eagerly awaited the next games. But I loved that system, and I think the system had a good life, and it was just an interesting time for that. And then the Switch, I can't believe it's been 4 years now. I remember Switch Miss when that came out, and just getting it, and there was another dark time in my life there where my mother was, not long for this world, and I was stuck taking care of her in literally her last month of her life, and the Switch came out, and Breath of the Wild was my escape from a really, really crappy reality, and just getting to experience that was majestic. And now to this day, like I just fell in love with the Switch, and I didn't think it was going to be as hot as it is. I mean, that's the only reason I went for a full set, is like, oh, this is going to be like the Wii U. This is going to be a piece of cake. And boy, was I wrong. Yeah, the Switch is just blown up, and the amount of games that have come to it. There are games on this system that I never, like, if you told me even in 2017, you're going to have, all these Final Fantasies, you're going to have the first 2 Grandias, you're going to have the first 4 the first 4 Mana games, these games are all going to be there. Your Panzer Dragoon's going to be there, and like, what? Like, you're crazy. Like, no way. That's
believe
all
you
going.
If we got a Link's Awakening remake.
Yeah, Link's Awakening remake, I would be like, are you serious? It's my favorite Zelda game. There's no way this is happening. And of course it did. And then the Switch continues to just be one of those really amazing systems with an amazing library. And I mean, I saw there was a chart they took, the top system selling for the first 4 years, and the Switch is number 1 at 80 million. Outing the Wii, which was I think 75 million, and then the PS2, 4, and 1 were the those rounded out the top 5, and that is insane. Like the Switch is the #1 fastest selling system within the first 4 years of its life. That is great. Like that, what a turnaround from the Wii U. Like I remember those dark days of us doing the podcast and going, what are we going to do? What are we going to talk about? Oh my God, this possible new DLC is coming out. Yay. Like, it was crap. And now it's a total opposite. So happy birthday to the Switch and happy birthday month to the 3DS. And all I'll say is thank you for the memories and thank you for all the fun.
Absolutely. Greg, what do you think about these celebrations?
Yeah, at least the 3DS took me a little bit longer to get into it. I didn't get it until like June because that launch lineup really kind of scared me away from getting it initially. And plus, it was like, oh, here's the DS XL, and then it's like, oh, then we also have a 3DS coming out, and it's like, well, what's really kind of the difference, kind of thing? And like, oh, this one just has like a 3DS sliders. It's just like another side grade thing. But nope, it actually was a full blown system and took Ocarina of Time 3D to get me to want to get the handheld. So it was a very awesome purchase, and it was kind of a struggle for those first few months to play anything else. And then as soon as it had that unfortunate price drop and all that negative news and Mario 3D Land and Mario Kart 7, that's where it finally started seeing some good life and lots of fun games. So it's definitely great to be able to wish it a fantastic birthday month. I know it kind of got cut short with the Switch, but I mean, I still think it had really good 7 years strong of being a very primary system and handheld. And as Barry said, I always looked forward to traveling, bringing it places on vacation, and just trying to see how many street passes you can get. I mean, one of my favorite memories is still going to the Zelda concert and just getting 10 street passes every like 2 minutes. So it's just kept the thing open and just like, oh, I got to play all these games. Like, oh, I got to collect all the different flowers, got to collect all the things for all those street pass games, because those were just so darn addicting, and you just wanted to complete all those collections, and that was the only way to really play them was to get street passes. So that was definitely my favorite launch app that came with it. And in terms of the Switch, I still remember 4 years ago when I actually got it at midnight. So it was like getting ready to head out to Best Buy and go pick it up. So it was a fantastic experience getting to meet some other people there and being able to bring the Switch home on Breath of the Wild and just booting it up. And I even remembered like the first day I still had it. I wanted to try it out and taking it out. So it was like I used handheld a lot in the first 3 years of its life. And then since COVID, it's been completely 360 and using it mostly on the TV with very little handheld here and there. So it's a fantastic system. I'm glad to see it succeed, and it was definitely something that I needed, something I could bring with me on the go, and something I can enjoy at home. That's cool. So definitely 4 great years, and hope to see the next 4.
Nice. Yeah, I actually remember being at E3 when they showed off the 3DS the first time and being able to see the 3D. Like, it blew my mind. It really did. It blew my mind that I was able to see 3D without glasses. Did I really enjoy doing that all the time? Not so much. But it was incredibly impressive. And I still love how it works. Like, even though it's not the cool gimmick that it once was, it's still a really cool gimmick. And how they're able to pull it off is still mind blowing to this day. 10 years later, I'm still kind of amazed that you can get that. And the new 3DS and how they're able to you are to move around the system a little better without it going out of focus and everything is still really impressive. And yeah, I remember the street passes and stuff like that, especially around events like E3 and PAX and all those events, like you said, like the concerts and stuff like that. It was a little overwhelming at times, but it was still really fun to like be checking it, because you can only get 10 at a time, and like that was dumb, but I guess the limitations or whatever and everything. But I had you constantly were like checking it at those events, and it was cool to see passing people from all over the world and all that sort of thing. And Switch has just been fun for different reasons. Some really cool games, really fun games, and I liked it. It's cool how Nintendo has jumped closer to modern systems and everything, at least being in a solid 1080p for most games and stuff like that, and just being able to, like you said, Barry, get some of those games that I never would have guessed coming in Nintendo systems has been really cool. Jakester, what do you think about these two birthdays for the Switch and the 3DS?
So I didn't get either one of them at launch. I'll start with the 3DS. So the 3DS I actually got around when the new 3DS or when the 3DS XL came out, because my uncle got the 3DS XL and he gave me the 3DS. I got the black model, and I definitely loved the 3DS as a system. The 3D I hated. It burned my eyes within 5 minutes, and it hurt more considering I had to do it with Mario 3D Land, like in a lot of the levels. But I definitely think that, Stray Pass was definitely like one of the biggest hits for the system when it came out. And from then on, like, I remember when I took my I would take my 3DS to school a lot. I remember, like, I would continuously get 30 Stray Pass tags every day. When I was at school before I started class. At lunch, I would usually get a lot, and then after I left, I usually got a lot. Definitely my favorite games from the system, especially now, was like a lot of my favorites was Link Between Worlds was like one of my favorites.
So good,
and it's probably my favorite Zelda game now. Another one of my favorites is Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Animal Crossing New Leaf was the first time I got into the Animal Crossing franchise, and I think my second favorite game was definitely Pokemon X. Was the first time that I got to see the Pokemon in a third dimension, on handheld at least, and I just loved Mega Evolutions with a passion. And the Switch, I also did not get at launch. I got that around after Splatoon 2 came out. But the Switch, I just love, like, even to this day, it is just became, like, my favorite machine just to continuously play RPGs on every day, and to even play games that aren't RPGs. Like Smash Brothers or even Animal Crossing. And I do look forward to what else they're going to do with the Switch, even during COVID or even during Zelda's 35th anniversary. And I think 4 years definitely helped prove the world what the Switch could do that the Wii U couldn't. And I think another 4 will do it just as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's move in a couple quick headlines before we move into what we're looking forward to over this next week. Greg, tell us a little about. We have 2 back-to-back events. So Greg's going to tell us about one. Barry's going to tell us about one. Both of them happening this Thursday. So Greg, take it away first.
So, in case you missed our podcast last time, we found out that Pyro and Mithra are coming into Smash Brothers' next DLC fighter. So, Sakurai will introduce them more formally on Thursday at 6 a.m. Pacific time or 9 a.m. Eastern time, and you can figure out the ones in between. And so he will reveal the fighters' release date at that time, along with showing off all their different moves and abilities like he's done with all the other DLC fighters.
Cool.
And if that's not enough amazingness for you on this Thursday, you can stay tuned at 11 a.m. Eastern or 8 a.m. Pacific for the New Games Plus Expo. This aired last year, and it was a really, really cool presentation. It was kind of like in place of E3, and they're doing it again. It will be Axis, Koei Tecmo, Idea Factory, Natsume, PM Studios, NIS, Inti Creates, Gung Ho, Arc System Works, and a bunch others will be actually showing off brand new games in a showcase, and that's what starts at 11 o'clock. And then afterwards, if you stick around, they're going to have smaller 30 minutes to an hour segments per publisher to show off gameplay and some new stuff. Inti Creates, Axis, Idea Factory, Natsumi, NIS, Gung Ho, and Arc System Works all have presentations. So stay tuned throughout the day, and hopefully there'll be some really cool reveals. And it's kind of like the treehouse that Nintendo used to do. So that's all coming up this Thursday.
Cool. Well, before we talk about what games are coming out this next week, what we're hoping to play, I just want to thank you guys again for tuning in. If you haven't hit that like button here on YouTube, make sure you do that. If you haven't hit the subscribe button on YouTube or your favorite podcast app, do that as well. Leave us some comments. Leave us some positive reviews. Those are always great. But also be sure to share this with other Nintendo fans out there, other gaming fans, so we can continue to grow this community that we have here. If you haven't followed us on social media, be sure to do that at NintendoFuse on both, or actually all of Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And of course, if you have not yet joined our Discord, we would love to continue the conversations with you guys in there. You can see the link on the screen, but also it's going to be in the show notes and the YouTube description as well. So we would love for you guys to join our Discord and keep chatting about games. Before we wrap up, let's talk about what we are looking forward to over this next week. I'll maybe of course, scrolling the games on the screen from Nintendo's website. A couple of the games that definitely stand out to me that I was looking on there that a lot of people would want to know is Nocia. I think the G is silent, right? Nocia. And also Apex Legends comes out this next week. So both of those are pretty big games that are coming out. But there's several other games as well. So Barry, what are you hoping to play over this next week, or hoping to pick up over this next week?
Nocia is actually one of those games that looks really interesting. I'm hoping it does get a physical in America, because I know Japan's getting one. So we'll see, but my week is going to be finishing Strikers and then right into Bravely Default 2. And very much looking forward to that. I've heard some really good things.
Nice. Greg, how about you?
Yeah, nothing of interest really for me this week. I still have plenty of backlog to hit, which includes like Pokemon and other things, like even Hyrule Warriors I'd like to eventually start, and Phoenix Rising. So nothing really stuck out to me this time.
All right. And Jakester, what are you hoping to play over this next week?
This week, I'm actually starting a Pikmin marathon. So I'll be starting through Pikmin 1 tomorrow.
Nice. What system are you going to play it on?
And I'll be playing on the Wii U.
Nice.
But it'll just be the Wii version, so it's not too different.
Cool. Anything
Might
else?
beat you to it, because we actually got this one.
Ooh, look at that.
Nice. And might start another. I might start Immortals Phoenix Rising, actually.
Okay. Cool. I think I'm going to hopefully continue more into Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity, and I'll probably pick up Apex Legends and, download that and see how it runs on Switch. I would, if I were to play the game, I'd probably play it on Xbox instead, but that's beside the point. I do want to check out and see how it runs on the Switch, for sure. I think I'll be kind of maybe checking out that game a little bit, but mostly continuing on in Rocket League, also picking up all the Mario stuff in Animal Crossing, and after I get that, who knows if I'll continue on playing it every day, but I'll at least try to play it every day right now to get my 5 Mario items and, stock up on that stuff. And then, probably Age of Calamity is where I'll stick as far as like the bigger game that I'm trying to progress through, would be Age of Calamity, for now. Anything else from you guys before we wrap up today?
I might give Apex Legends a shot, since it's free. But I'm not big into shooters.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I enjoy them, but at the same time, there's a bunch of people out there that are a lot better than I am, and so online is only so much fun. I still enjoy Fortnite a little bit here and there. So maybe I'll jump into Apex and just see how it is. Like I said, yeah. Greg, Barry, anything else you guys want to point out, talk about, or anything before we wrap up today?
I'm just excited for this week. This is going to be a good Thursday. That's all I'm going to say.
Absolutely. It's cool. Greg, anything?
Nothing much. Just got the countdown started for the next Nintendo Direct.
It's right. Hopefully tomorrow. No, probably not. But
no, we're probably good until E3, unfortunately. But
yeah. But Thursday is going to be a good day, though. That'd be cool to see the Pyro and Mithra showed off, and what comes up from the New Games Expo and everything too. So it's gonna be a fun day on Thursday. So again, a plug for our Discord. If you haven't joined our Discord yet, Thursday will be one of those days. Anytime there's an event kind of thing, we have a channel dedicated for events, and this just light up during those times because it's a great place to go and chat about what we're seeing and talk about with other gamers and just have a. I think what we've created is a good, safe environment for people to just have some fun and talk about games there. So, if you haven't joined it yet, one more plug to get in there and join it, and especially jump in on the conversation this Thursday. But, I think that brings us to an end for episode 223. We're going to be back on March 9th with our next episode. Jakester, thanks so much for being here and joining us this week. It's been great to have you.
Thank you for having me again. It was great to talk about all things Nintendo and talk about Pokemon.
Absolutely. And thank you guys for tuning in once again, and make sure you like, subscribe, all that sort of thing, and we will see you next week here on the NintendoFuse Podcast. But until then, happy gaming, everybody.
Have a good one.
Bye, everyone.
gaming.